What's up everyone, Psychic Duck here. Today we're finally settling the debate, Bloxstrike or Defuse Division. Which one is actually the ultimate CS2 clone? I'm gonna answer that for you today in a full breakdown across 7 key categories. To keep things fair, I've weighted each topic based on its real impact on the game. That's 10 points total up for grabs. I've analyzed everything strictly by the numbers to see which game truly deserves the crown. So, who's taking the W today? Now, we're starting with performance. I ran a total of 6 tests, 3 for Defuse and 3 for Bloxstrike. The games were tested on a really weak low-end setup using a Vega 7 GPU. The visuals were only modified within Roblox, while the games kept all of their effects, and these are the results I found. Bloxstrike takes the first 2 points. Now moving on to visuals. The points were split across the 3 maps that both games share. So let's get started. On Mirage, both games showcase their best visuals, but the point goes to Defuse Division. The texture quality is higher and more faithful to Counter-Strike, appearing practically 1-to-1 at times. On this first map, Defuse Division takes the point. On Vertigo, the competition gets tighter. Bloxstrike wins on lighting and details, even though it loses on textures. However, Defuse Division's lighting on this map is bad enough to make it worse overall. Because of this, and the lack of details, Bloxstrike takes the point. On Seaside, both games take different approaches to atmosphere. Defuse Division opts for a rainy mood, while Bloxstrike goes for a sunny, clear look. Visually, Defuse Division's textures and lighting are more pleasing to the eye. The water physics are also superior in Defuse Division, so Defuse Division takes the point. Moving on to grenades, we can say that some grenades have nicer effects in Bloxstrike, like the flashbang and the explosive one. The incendiary has similar flame quality, but in Defuse Division, details like the liquid moving inside the Molotov and the cloth catching fire before the throw are present. Defuse Division smoke grenade has better animation and greater reaction to shots and explosions. The throwing physics are similar in both games, with grenades landing in basically the same spot. The throwing animations are cleaner and smoother in Defuse Division, being closer to CS2, and thanks to the fact that it's closer to CS2, Defuse Division takes the point. Running the speed test, I noticed something odd. Apparently, Defuse Division's Mirage map is larger, while Bloxstrike's is more faithful to CS2's scale, which is a bit easier to notice with both side by side. However, even with that, both games feature similar movement speeds. It's worth noting that hitting specific jumps and bunny hopping is much easier in Defuse Division. The feeling of jumping and moving proves to be smoother, even though the general gameplay is basically the same. Adapting to the movement would be easier for a new player in Defuse Division, and because of this, the point goes to it for the ease of adaptation provided by the smoother movement. Moving on to the recoil topic. Both games share many similarities regarding recoil, but with some very small differences in how they function while moving. In this case, I'll have to call it a tie and split the points, as both are very easy and faithful to CS2. Well, I didn't even need to say anything. Bloxstrike takes it. Mid-production, Bloxstrike dropped an update with a new mode and map, but the video info is already updated, so let's start. Content-wise, if we count Defuse Division's Bloxit as a competitive mode, both have 3 game modes. Defuse has casual, competitive, and deathmatch. Bloxstrike has casual, deathmatch, and hostage. Map count, Bloxstrike leads 5-4. They share Mirage, Vertigo, and Seaside, but Defuse Division has Anubis, while Bloxstrike has Office as a hostage exclusive, and Dizzy as a deathmatch exclusive. On skins, Bloxstrike has more cases and accessories like Stat Track and Charms. Defuse has level drop rewards, which work just like a case. Defuse Division has only 3 skin cases and a level up system, while Bloxstrike has 4 skin cases and 1 charm case. Somehow, the quick open feature is paywalled on Bloxstrike, but free on Defuse, though Bloxstrike has slightly better odds of getting good items. Feature-wise, Defuse offers free private servers and a server browser, while Bloxstrike charges 79 Robux for private servers, but they are better for practice since they offer the possibility of using unlimited warm-up time. On updates, Bloxstrike wins with a better flow and constant patches, whereas Defuse Division takes way too long to update, hurting the game long-term. Content-wise, they are close, but Bloxstrike's consistency weighs heavily here. So I'm giving 2 points to Bloxstrike and 1 to Defuse Division. And that brings us to the end of the showdown. Bloxstrike takes the win, 6-4, cementing itself as the current best CS2 clone on Roblox. But for how long? That, I don't know. Only time will tell. If you made it this far, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. Catch you in the next one.